Don't touch my head. Witness the feelings I wear. Don't touch my soul. Witness the rhythm I know.
The camera cut out. It's okay though, I turned it back off. On today's episode of Untied with Malasia, I'm going to be showing you guys how I got like this. As you remember, if you've seen any of our videos, you know that I'm a natural. I've been natural for, I think it's coming up on 4 years. Let me give you a little hair summary. So I have 4A, 4B hair, maybe 3C in the front just because it's such a loose curl. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips on how to achieve straight hair, maintain straight hair, and avoid heat damage. And then after, I'm going to be showing you guys a tutorial of what I actually did to achieve this look. Stay tuned. So these tips are what I live and I abide by. Some of them you may know, some not, but I do think that they're extremely useful. So tip number 1, have a hair schedule. Now everybody knows the more you straighten the hair, the higher the chances that you're gonna get heat damage. So come up with a schedule. Not only will it force you to straighten your hair less often, it'll make you more comfortable with having natural hair for majority of the time, and so it'll force you to really get to know your hair. Now me personally, I straighten my hair every 6 months. If I'm looking up, it's because my screen is there. I just keep looking at my luxurious hair. If it's gonna rain more than once that week, or if there's high humidity, then I will completely avoid straightening your hair altogether. So here are percentages to avoid when it comes to humidity. Generally, if it's anything under 60%, you should be pretty good. Now, this is general people. Some people may be different. Once it becomes 70% humidity, 80% humidity, anytime usually in the summer or in the late spring, I would avoid. Tip number 3, try to use your straightening sessions for good. So what I mean for good is, because I straighten my hair every 6 months, and sometimes on occasions, I like to use that time to trim my hair and make sure that it's in its healthiest state. The reason for this is because it is recommended that you trim your hair every 6 months. When it's straight, it's a really great opportunity to assess the problem and fix it. I also use that as a time to do length checks. Hey girl, make sure you straighten freshly washed and deep conditioned hair. I would take this time to deep condition, pre-poo, really the works. Anything that you feel puts your hair in its best state, that's what I would do before you go to straighten your hair. And that also applies to after you straighten your hair. Make sure you give your hair back everything that it lost in that process. I swear I will shut up, I will be quiet. Tip number 5, do not take shortcuts when it comes to heat protector. Do not take shortcuts when it comes to heat protector. If you do not use heat protector, that gives the heat a direct pathway to your hair strands and they will break off and die. Do you want to be a murderer? I would rather put way too much heat protectant on my hair than way too little. So now that you guys have listened to my spiel, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. What up, bums? So I'm going to be starting on freshly washed and conditioned hair, and the only product that I'm going to be highlighting in this video is the Denman Thermo ceramic straightening brush. I don't use any special straightener or heat protectant. This is the secret to my success. I will leave all the info about it in the description. So I'm going to be starting with heat protector. I'm going to separate my hair into 4 pieces so it's easier to work with. Not only do I spray it directly onto my head, but I like to spray it into my hands and rub it throughout my hair just to make sure I have as much coverage as possible. I like to make sure my hair is fully detangled before I do anything, and today I'm going to be using the tension method when I blow dry my hair. So that's when you pull your hair and force it to stay straight, and it allows the blow dryer to work quicker. I'm also going to be using the chase method, which is when you run a brush or a comb through your hair as you use the blow dryer. And when you're done all that, it should look something like this. Try to get your hair as straight as possible with the blow dryer so that when it comes to straightening, you can get it straight with only 1 or 2 passes. So when I straighten my hair, I like to do it in rows. So I like to part from one side of my head to the other with a thin row and work my way from the back to the front. So working with the small piece, I'm going to use the Denman straightening brush and run through once or twice just to make sure all the kinks are out. Then I like to take my straightener and go in at the root and straighten 2 to 3 times just to get a nice smooth root. And then I'll take the Denman and place it far enough away from my head so that the straightener can fit in between. And I run them both down my hair. It kind of feels as though I'm holding 2 straighteners. As you can see, I got it pretty straight on the first pass. I like to go through one more time with my straightener just to bump the ends and make sure it's fully straightened. Because the Denman brushes my hair out as I'm straightening, it allows my hair to straighten with only 1 or 2 passes, and it avoids heat damage. And as promised, I like to go back in and just dust my ends. So doing it again, I go in and press my roots 2 to 3 times, and then I use the Denman and the straightener and run them down my hair at the same time. I like to go back in with my straightener once more to make sure it's fully straightened and bumped on the ends. And then I go in for a trim. I like to repeat the same routine to every piece of hair. I made it. So when I'm done my whole head, I like to go around one last time just to bump the ends, and I like to add a little bit of finishing touches. I'm just curling the front of my bang, so I just take the straightener and I flip it upward and pull it out, and as you can see, it flips into a little half curl, half swoop. This look took about an hour and a half to achieve. Do not forget to wrap your hair every night because your hair will be ruined and you will have to re-straighten it every morning. Try not to re-straighten more than 2 to 3 times a week, and please always use heat protectant. And that's how you fix that one. Alright y'all, thanks for watching Untied with Malasia. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out Untied with Victor, where he showed you fashionable but lazy outfits. And make sure you stay tuned every Friday for a tied video where we'll both be back together. Thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Don't touch my hair.